Hello everyone. This is Praveer Singh. Today's topic is about the POSC in Mount Delivery. POSC is like a process-oriented storage control. So it is a process where we define a multiple steps in a warehouse to perform the task. So I will have an example where we have let me just share my screen and show you. So this is like our warehouse diagram. Here we have like warehouse doors, which is like 9030. We are docking the vehicle here. The transportation unit is gonna get us the goods from the plant or somewhere, and we're gonna drop the goods here. So from here we're gonna do the unloading in GR zone, which is 9010 at the unloading, and from there we need to do the deconsolidation. Deconsolidation is something we need to remove the packaging units. We need to separate them with the handling units of HU01 and HU02 with the material of X, and we need to assign the handling units to the material X and the handling units to the material Y. So there we're going to do the deconsolidation, and again we need to pack those things at the work center, and we need to apply the put away strategies and move it to the particular storage bin in A007 and A008. So this is like a continuous process where we do the unloading and do the deconsolidation, and we apply the put away strategies. These are the three actions which we're going to perform in this simple inbound POSP. So to do that, initially what we are doing is like we're gonna have like configuration. We do the configurations and all, in which there are like some complex warehouses where we do the quality inspection as well. But for this session, we are just skipping this task for now. We are only sticking to unloading, deconsolidation, and storing it in the final bin. Let me just change it here. Deconsolidation. Final storage. So these are the three actions which we're gonna work on the POSC. So initially, what we're gonna do is we need to create a warehouse task creation by going into this particular path, which is SPRO, SAP RSA, ref image, and EWM cross processing settings, warehouse task, and we'll define the process-oriented storage control. So where we in here we're going to define the STSS, which is like storage type search sequence. So it is defined because uh, the system needs to know where the particular goods has to go. Like to define, it's like a link that the system knows that the particular goods has to go to this bin or this bin. So we'll create a storage type search sequence for each bin. So after the consolidation is done, to perform that, so we will be defining first the storage process type, which is like going into this path and click on the new entries, and we're gonna create a storage process with the name in the warehouse PW17 and PWSP. So you can see that in the screenshot here. We're gonna in the warehouse is PW17, which is my warehouse, and the storage process type is PWSP. So here we're gonna assign the storage process type with the name of PI01 and PI02 and PI03. So what are these names? Because these are the names which we are giving to the particular action which we are going to perform in the POSC inbound process. So here, after defining these things, we will click on the automatic check boxes here. You can see that here. So this is we tick because so once the PI01 is finished, then only we can go to like unloading. For example, PI01 is defined for unloading. So once the unloading is done, then only the goods has to move to the next process, which is deconsolidation. Later on, we need to go to the once the deconsolidation is done and handling units are assigned to the particular goods, then we are going that to the next step. That's the reason we need to check initially here these two boxes. So After doing this, we need to assign the flow for the following define. So as I explained you the flow, but in the configuration terminology, we need to assign it so that the system understands. So how does it go? So for PI01, to do that, we need to click on the process-oriented storage control here, and we need to assign this here, the warehouse external step and the source bin and the warehouse process type and the destination bin. So here, why we given the 9030? Because so this is the standard number which we given for the door, which is 9030. And here, what is the destination? GR zone. So for this whole PI01, here source is 9030 and the destination is 9010. That's the reason we have given like GR. This is the destination bin, which is GRA1, which we created for the 9010, and the destination bin is GR zone. So for that, after once the goods has been arrived to the unloading storage bin, so once the unloading is done, then we need to create another external step for that, which is PI02, from where the here the source is gonna change from 9010 to 8010 because 8010 is the number which we given for the work center for doing the deconsolidation. And from there itself, we need to create a bin as well. We need to make sure that we have bins for each storage type because even if we miss any one of the storage bin, it's going to throw an error back and it's going to stop the flow. So once we are done with this thing, we need to like save it and assign. Since after the deconsolidation, those materials will be handled by the handling unit. So this is like explain why we didn't assign. So here you're gonna get a doubt that why we didn't assign PI03 here. So the reason behind is that for PI03, we will be assigning the put away strategies. So for put away strategies, we are not going to define it here. Once we need to, because that's the final step, we are not assigning that external step here. So later on, the next step is going to be like define warehouse process type. So we're going to use the standard warehouse process to type for defining the storage process, which is like 10111. So we need to copy it and we need to modify as PYSC. So this, here you can see it in the screen. So once we go to the WPT, we will assign PW17 and we will click on, we'll change the standard POSC with the with our name. You can define it like anything. POSC, which is like put away with the storage process. And as I told you, we need to create a storage bin for Dorin with the same number 9030/1 with the T code of. So whenever you want to create a bin, you need to follow this T code, which is LS01. Since I think in this configuration we don't have bins assigned at the door, which is door in. So we'll create a bin over there. Since everything is a storage type in the warehouse, so we need to assign the bins over there. Without that, we cannot proceed to further things. So also we need to make sure when we are creating this WPT, we need to make sure that the source storage type is 9030 and we need to have the storage bin as 9030/_1, which we will create with the T code of LS01. Also, we need to make sure to trigger the WPT for the POSC, we need to assign the storage type, which is like PWSP, because uh, this is how the POSC inbound is going to trigger by assigning the warehouse process type to the storage type. So it's a very important question in the interview. So we need to make sure that we remember that thing. Also, we need to assign, once we are creating a WPT, we need to make sure that the storage process is defined as PWSP. And we need to enter and click on save. Later on, the next step is going to be like creation of PTDI. So to to create this thing, we need to follow this path and we need to go to the define control storage indicator for determining warehouse process and click on new entries. And then you're going to get a standard click on new entry, we need to create a PTDI, which is like PI in our configuration. So later on, we need to determine the WPT. To determine the WPT, we'll go to SPRO, SAP Reference Images, and SCMEWM, cross-processing settings, warehouse staff, and determine the warehouse WPT. So here, to determine the WPT, the standard document for the WPT inbound is INB, which we will assign here, and this is our warehouse here. And here is the PTDI which we have created, which is PI, and this is our WPT, POSE. And we'll click on enter and save. Now for the final step, we're going to define the put away strategies. Put away strategies, we need to go to this path, SPRO, SAP Reference Imaging, SCM EWM, and goods receipt process strategies, define storage type search, new entries. Now create the following of both. So these are the storage type search sequence which I have told to define for each bin, because we'll define STSA POC inbound for this bin, this particular storage type. Here STSP we'll define for the inbound A008 storage type. So for this, we're gonna follow this step, like going to this path, new entries, we're gonna create like this, and we can do it for like both of the things. We'll create the same, we'll follow the same process. Later on, once it's done, we'll go to the SPRO, SAP Reference Imaging, SCME, goods receipt, assign the storage type to the STSS. So once we have defined the put away strategies, define the storage type, we will assign that to the assign the storage type search sequence. That's the second step in the put away strategies, where we're going to assign STSA for the inbound 1010010 and STSP for the POSC inbound A008. So this is how it's done. By after going into path, when you click on assign storage types to STSS, so here you need to give this storage type A008, and you need to define your warehouse PW17, and you need to give your storage type search sequence for STSP and STSA. So you will follow the same thing for the both storage type search sequence for both storage types. So later on, you need to click on enter and save. Then again, you need to define put away control indicator. That's the third step in the put away strategies. So go to this path again and create a put away control indicators for both, which is PPC1, PACI for inbound POSC 100010, PPC2, which is PACI for inbound POSC A008. So this is how it's done. So this is one of the screenshots which I took when I am creating this thing. So where we go like PW70, define a warehouse. You will give your own name. You need to define a unique one, and you will give the description about it to remember, and you will give the storage types or sequence. You need to assign that. So you will do this process put away control indicator for both STSS. Okay. Since I'm showing the screenshot for only one, but you need to follow for both. So later on, let's go to specify STSS for put away. So to do that, come back again, follow this path, specify the STSS for put away, assign the below screenshot, and you need to assign this thing. This we are assigning because you need to, the system is gonna know like when the goods has to move to the which one, because by the help of storage type search sequence only, the goods is gonna move to the particular storage type, because since it's gonna move by the labor, but still they need to know like in which bin is free for this particular goods. That is gonna be that's gonna be done by storage type search sequences. So once we are finished with the put away strategies, we need to create a work center. So create a work center, we need to go to this particular path, which is SPRO, SAP Reference Imaging, SCM EWM, Master Data, Work Center, Specify Work Center. So the standard layout for Work Center is TKMX. So we need to copy from that thing, and as per the screenshot, we need to make sure we'll create our own thing, which is like deco. So after going to this path, work center, define work center. So since we don't have like a proper work center for our thing, so we will take in our environment we have some standard which is like UMAR, and we'll make the changes accordingly. So we have copied that from the standard one which we have. We have the standard UMAR work center and we have done the changes accordingly. So here what we have done is like when we are defining the warehouse, once we are done the copying from the standard one, we make sure that we define the warehouse here. We define the work center name. We can give it any name like we want, and we'll give the description about it, like for the deconsolidation of goods received, and we'll define the external step which is PI02. Why we are assigning PI02? Because that was the external step which was assigned to the deconsolidation. And we are assigning 8010. And the inbound section is 0001. And outbound section is also 0001. And repack WPT. This is the standard WPT for repacking, which is 3040. And the work center layout is DKMX. Once you enter all these things, click on enter and save it. So next, assign the work center to the particular bin. To do that, we need to follow this T code here, which is /n/scwm/twork/st. So once we open this thing and click on the warehouses, so here we will get an option called an empty option for the storage bin where we're going to assign our deconsolidation storage bin, which we created 8010/0101. So once we are done, and we will generate the activity with the T code of, we're going to create an activity area. So to do that, we need to go to this particular task, particular T code, which is /n/scwm/gen which is generation of the activity. When you open that thing, give your warehouse details, give the storage type A008, and click on save. Later on, the next step is going to be like deconsolidation. So to do the deconsolidation, we will define the attributes for the deconsolidation where we'll go to the particular path, which is like SPRO, SAP reference images, EWM, master data, deconsolidation. Then we're going to define the attributes for the deconsolidation. So to do that, we need to specify this particular activity for the particular warehouse, which is 9010 is for like door. We need to specify the deconsolidation status like below. Like for example, in PW17 9010 we will assign the work center after the unloading done at the GR zone. We're gonna assign that to the work center, which is Deco, which we created recently. Later on, we're gonna assign the storage bin to the activity area. So to assign the storage bin to the activity area, so we're gonna go to the path, which is like SAP reference image, SCME, EWM, master data, activity area, assign storage bin to the activity area. So here we're gonna search for our warehouses and we're gonna assign the storage type for each of the activity area which we created. So here we're gonna assign our storage type 9010 and 9020 for our warehouses and activity area. So select the entries and click on the search icon once it's open and pull the activity area and save it. So once we are done with it, so we need to make sure once we open each one of, for example, we need to click on this thing. Once we click on this thing, this particular page is going to open and we need to make sure that we have this particular storage types assigned here. I need to make sure we have this consolidation group here, which is click on the pull consolidation group When we click here, this following number is going to get generated. And now till here, the whole configurations for deconsolidation, unloading, and the creation of everything is done here. So once the configuration and everything is done, so let's move on to the testing part. So for the simple inbound testing, we need to make sure here we have a scenario where we are creating like two materials, which is 8622 and 8625. So after the creation of the material, we need to make sure that we extend that material to the product master with the T code of MAT1. And later on, we will assign the PTDI and put away for the following material as follows. So for example, we're going to assign 8622 PI for the PTDI POC inbound, put away control indicator PPC1 for the PACI, which is for A008, and we're going to assign 8625 to the PTDI for POC inbound, and put away control indicator PPC2 PACI for this particular storage type. So this is the screenshot which we're gonna assign this particular. We need to, when we are doing the extending the material to the product master, we need to make sure once we go to this particular path, this particular page is gonna open. So once you go there, you need to click on warehouse data, and you need to make sure that you give the PTDI PI here for the particular inbound, and then again to put away control indicator PPC2 for the particular storage. Later on, what we're going to do, we're going to follow the standard procedure of creating a purchase order with the T code of ME21N. And we're going to give all these details, create raise the material item with the 100 quantities and all, give the plant details, storage location, and we're going to assign the confirmation key here and give the inbound delivery as a role. Once we do here, we'll enter and save, and then the purchase order is going to create with the number of 45000965. So once the inbound delivery has been done, so with reference to the purchase order, we'll create an inbound delivery which is the T code of VL31N. After this page pops up, like we create the inbound delivery. So we need to select these two materials. We need to make sure we'll pack this first, and we need to assign a handling unit for that, which is PW17 box. So here we have created a lot of handling units. In my scenario, I've created the box for it. PW17 is one of the handling units which I created for this particular material. So select this two, click on the pack. Once you get here, it's gonna ask for the packaging material. So there you need to give your handling unit. It can be either box, it can be either pallet, or there might be any auxiliary items handling unit which might be required to like when the goods are. It depends on the goods. Auxiliary handling unit is something like to support the goods inside the handling unit, we'll have some additional, like for example, if we are packing a micro oven and that needs to have a thermal sheets around it to make sure that the product doesn't get damaged inside while it is been transporting. So that comes under the auxiliary handling unit. So here we are defined with the standard procedure, which is a PW17 box. And once it's done, we'll select these two materials, click on the, let me just zoom a bit so that you guys wanna have a better picture. So once you select these two materials, select the handling unit and click on this packaging button, it's done. Once you've done it, you will get an inbound delivery number with the number of 18001073. Now, once the inbound delivery is done, our other step is like we need to process that inbound delivery at the EWM site. So, which is for which we're gonna go to this particular T code to process our inbound delivery at the EWM site. So once we're gonna get our once we give our details here, and once we make sure that the inbound delivery got generated, we need to make sure the handling units have been assigned to the particular package, particular goods or not. Because without the handling units, we cannot move the goods from one storage bin to another storage bin. So that's the main thing we need to check, that the handling units have been assigned to it or not. Later on, now we'll create like a warehouse task for POC inbound, and we'll follow, since we cannot follow like the simple inbound process here, since it's a POSC, so we need to create a warehouse process. So here also, like as I told you before, in order to like trigger an inbound POSC, we need to assign the storage type with the warehouse process type. So in order to do that, you need to make sure you create once you need to create a task. I don't think why I can't see. You need to click create a task here, warehouse task. Go to this and click on the handling units. Select this item and click on create. And also we need to make sure that we check the source and destination bins for this inbound delivery, because we need check once that the 9030 is having the particular door and 9010 has to be the destination for this inbound delivery. So here in the below screenshot, we have checked it. Once the warehouse task has been created for this, go to the handling units, select the line item, click on create. Once you create, the warehouse task is going to create for it, and you need to check the source and destination details. Here I can see that the source details is 9030, and we have the 9030 bin, and here the destination details is 9010, which is for the GR zone, and the destination is GR zone, and the type is 9010. Once it's done, you can see, after verifying and checking everything, because you need to make sure that the particular path is having the source and destination with the proper way, or else it might give you errors. And if it is in the real time, that's going to cause you an escalation as well. So to avoid that thing, we need to cross-check every detail when we are like defining these things, when we are processing these things. And later on, click on save it. And now let's go back to the monitoring view with the T code of /n/scwm/myn, and we'll create a warehouse task with the confirmed at EWM side. Also, we'll make sure that we'll confirm the task over there as well. So once the page is going to open, so once you go to this particular T code path, so you can see that this page is going to pop up where you need to go to the documents, click on inbound delivery, and select the warehouse task, this one, because inbound delivery, and when you expand that thing, you're going to have the particular inbound delivery. When you click on it, it's going to open when you give the warehouse details and all. So this particular inbound document is going to pop up. Then you need to select this inbound delivery order, and you need to click on the warehouse task, where you're going to get a one initial warehouse task, which is like AL01. So this testing was done with another configuration. So that's the reason you're going to see like AL01 is for like unloading, and second AL02 is for the deconsolidation, and AL03 is for like a put away strategy. So assume like that. These are the external steps in this POSC. So don't get confused here. So AL01 is an external step which we defined for like unloading the task. So once we select this thing, we need to confirm the warehouse task. We need to click on this option here. We need to confirm the warehouse task in the background. So after it is done, they're going to be creating like two tasks will be created for the initial configuration when the unloading is done. Because in the POSC, we are following the standard process. First, the unloading has to done. Second, the deconsolidation has to done. And third, the put away has to apply, where the goods gonna move from activity area to the. Let me just show you the other file. You're gonna get the better picture. Where is this file? So here, once we are done with the unloading, and you're gonna move it to the deconsolidation for the work center to do the deconsolidation activity. From here, we're going to assign the put away strategies for to move the goods from a deconsolidation to A007 and A008 with the particular material. So this is what we are doing here. So once we confirm the warehouse task, the unloading is done. And now we need to make sure that we have to go to a deconsolidation, which is like AL02. So to do that, first we need to make sure after we confirm this thing, so there are gonna be additional two tasks which are gonna create here, which is gonna be like the first task is confirmed, which is for like unloading and all. And you need to check the source and destination, whether it is done or not. You need to make sure that. And here the status are defined like A, B, C. So here the A defines like cancel and B defines for waiting and C is for confirm. So here we can see that the POSC for AL03, AL03 is showing as B. This is because it's waiting for the second task to get complete. What is the second task? Let's assume this is AL01, this is AL0. AL01 is for like unloading here, and AL02 is for the deconsolidation. So without the completion of AL02, the AL03, which is like put away, it's gonna be waiting for the second task to complete. So unless the second deconsolidation task has been completed, we cannot move forward to the third one. So to do that, what we need to do initially, we need to create a task and we need to confirm with the warehouse task. Like we have to like again select this task. We need to confirm the warehouse task in the background. So once we do it, it's gonna get confirmed. But still, the task has been confirmed here. But we need to make sure that we need to do the deconsolidation manually because we confirm the task here, but still the manual process of deconsolidation has to be done with the T code of /n/scwm slash deconsol. So this is like a T code where we can perform the deconsolidation. So once you go to this path, after confirming the task, you need to make sure you go to this task to do the manual deconsolidation, give the warehouse number, give the work center details, and click on execute. And once it's done here, we will create like two different HUs for two different materials, which is POSC A007, the storage type, POSC A008. So here, what we are doing is like we are creating a handling unit for product X, which is for material 86. We have two materials in this process. So for each material, we're gonna create a handling unit. So that is what we are doing here, which is like creating a handling unit for a test material inbound POSC A007 for the material of 8680. And we have the test material for inbound. So to create this packaging material, like handling unit, we can call it a handling unit. So here we'll give the details and we'll select the number of handling units as 2. Once it's done, you can click on enter. And here you can see that the two packaging materials are being created, two handling units are being created. So next, what you're gonna do, you're gonna delete the empty handling units for which the goods has been moved to the new ones. So in order to do that, you just need to do the drag and drop. I think that comes in the next step. Okay. So in order to move, once we're gonna delete the empty handling units here, which is like 9090 with the option here. Select this two, click on delete option, complete the delete the empty handling units, and later on you're gonna like drag and drop. Right. So once it's done, I think here we missed a step. Sorry for that. We need to drag the materials to the handling units. So here what we are doing. So we are just dragging the material. Once you expand this thing, so there will be a material in that. You need to drag that to the test material. This handling units, 9994010, 4009, 40010. These are the two boxes from which we're gonna separate the goods from one material to two different materials. So once it's done, we're gonna delete the first one, which is 2862 handling units. We're gonna delete that thing. So here we can see that 4009, we have two boxes, two handling units for the material, 8680, 8681. So now once it's done, since we have done the deconsolidation manually, so what we're gonna do here, we're gonna move to the next warehouse task, which we're gonna see that warehouse task AL02 has been confirmed. So here, once you go back to the monitoring view again, you can see that the POSC for AL02 is confirmed. Another two tasks have also been created for confirmed for AL03 and AL03. So you need to select these two tasks which are like doesn't have any action status. You need to select these two, click on the item uh, option here, and confirm the warehouse task in the background. So finally here we are done with unloading, deconsolidation, and put away. So this is how the complete POSC is done. So this is like a simple scenario which I have told with the three steps, but in real world we're going to be having n number of complex activities which we perform. Depends on the industry, changes accordingly. If it is for the pharma industry, we're going to have different steps to store the drugs and all. And if it is a food industry, we're going to be having the quality inspection once we get the goods from there. So we have like additional steps. So this is like a basic thing which I have explained. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.